one of the best games all day long.
Absolutely. And Coach, you talked about what Lakota East has to do to win. And what do you think Beavercreek has to do to kind of, how do you stop a Lakota East team?
Well, I think they have to get back in transition defense, first of all, to make sure that East doesn't get those easy opportunities. And then they just have to stay in front of East. They're big enough to battle East inside a little bit. But they just have to stay in front of the ball, not let East have any penetration, whether it be passing or dribbling. Make East shoot over the top of their height and their athleticism, and then get the rebound. But I think Beavercreek's perfectly capable of doing that. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but I think those are two.
Beavercreek has played a little zone this year too. Don't be surprised if East is cutting them up with those back screens and pin downs. If they're cutting them up, Beavercreek may go zone, and that could be real interesting because you don't see a lot of zone in GMC, so that could be interesting too.
Right.
Final question I've got for you guys, and we touched on it a little earlier, but you guys have both been around this atmosphere, a district game and whatnot. How cool is it? How special is it for the players, the coaches, the communities to get to come down here to a professional venue like this and experience it?
It's really special. I know Sean's been involved in it too, but you see people come to your games who haven't been in years. They come out of the woodwork. They all want good seats. But it's so neat for the kids to be able to come down here and play in front of a crowd in a college venue, and then to be playing in tournament time in March, because this is March Madness time for high school as well.
It's special for these guys right here. The student section, this is great for them. So it's going to be a great game.
Well, the game's got to get going. They're about to do the national anthem. Geoff Kim and Trace Fowler will be on the call. You can listen to that. Stay tuned. You're listening to Chatterbox Live.
On tap is the start of our quadruple header district final day. Leading off, it's Lakota East and Beavercreek. We're in Cincinnati. We'll get you started with the March to Columbus next on Chatterbox Live.
First for Beavercreek, a 6-foot senior, number 3,
Good afternoon from the Cintas Center. I'm Geoff Kim, Trace Fowler to join me in just a moment. The beat rolls on for the Thunderhawks, defeating Turpin a week ago Saturday to capture the sectional 50-41. Caden Furman had 16. East has won 14 in a row. Meanwhile, Beavercreek got here by blowing out Springfield a week ago Friday, 64-44. They dominated on the boards, 40-24. Adam Duvall had a double-double, 12 points and 10 rebounds. The Beavers have won 4 in a row. Trace, it begins again here on the district final day, and a quadruple header. We can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what you play for, if you will, in high school, is a chance to play at the big arena, on the big stage. And tonight, a couple teams that have had good seasons and have competed at the top of their league. Obviously, Beavercreek was competing at the top of the GWalk, and the Thunderhawks, if you will, won the GMC. It'll be a fun game. I think this will be one of the better games of the day.
I think so as well. Let's give you the starting lineups here. First for Lakota East, the Thunderhawks are 23-2. They're the 2 seed out of Cincinnati. Clint Adkins in his 6 years as the head coach. 3 guards, Jared McCorkle, Jaden Coles, and Nate Johnson. Up front, it will be Caden Furman and Alex Mangold. For the Beavercreek Beavers at 16-9, they're the 2 seed out of the Dayton region. Their head coach is first-year skipper Steve Pittman, a 1985 Beavercreek grad. The guards are number 3, Yusef Salah, number 5, Salome Baldwin, and number 10, Chris Hebort. Up front will be Adam Duvall and Gabe Phillips. Both of those gentlemen are 6'7". So we're just about set to go here in this one. Clad in the home whites are the Thunderhawks. They've got the gray numerals, the silver numerals actually, and the black trim. It's the black uniforms with the orange numerals and trim for the Beavercreek Beavers. Can't wait for this one. It's the start of 4 here in Cincinnati at the Cintas Center. Alex Mangold, we'll see if it'll be Duvall or Phillips to jump center with them. By the way, we're situated on a baseline, and he'll jump center with Gabe Phillips. So Mangold and Phillips to jump center here in the district final, the District 1 final. Here to start things off. Ball's in the air. Tap is controlled by Furman of the Thunderhawks, and away we go as they go left to right. Here's Johnson up top. Now plays Furman up high on the right. Dumps it back off. McCorkle gets his first touch, and now back over for Johnson up high on the right, where he's checked by Baldwin. Tosses it back on over for McCorkle, side pocket right, dribbles, and now skips it on over for Jaden Cole's getting his first touch. Back to Johnson, rolls behind a high screen from Mangold, rolls top of the key, spun around, nowhere to pass it, now dumps it off, and we've got traveling. As he worked into McCorkle, and Jared guilty of extra steps.
Yeah, it was a tough ask for McCorkle to not only catch the ball right there and try to finish with it, but he just caught it in a bad spot and walked.
Beavercreek on the attack for the first time this afternoon. The ball's in the hands of Yusuf Sela, who's 6 foot tall, a senior. He plays it to Herbort. Chris Herbort one-hands it onto the side. Gabe Phillips returns it back up on high. Baldwin getting a touch, and now dribbles into the lane. It's Sela going to the runner, misses shot, Mangold the rebound. Here's Johnson, quickly up ahead. Cole stopping, going the lane, skips it out. Furman, a corner three, in and out. Mangold the rebound. He'll kick it back out for Johnson, then he'll reset with 6:49 to play here in quarter number 1.
Yeah, that's a situation there with, if you're East, you got to be thrilled to death of getting offensive rebounds with the size, and he just walked a country mile and he got away with it.
Johnson, skip pass back to the outside, looking for Coles, threw it out to the sideline, and we'll head the other way. Side out of bounds to our right, just at half court, with 6:38 to play here in this opening quarter. No score. Sela has the ball, averaging 13, almost 14 points a contest here in these playoffs. Plays it to Baldwin, skips it back to Sela. Sela, side pocket left, now dribbles into the lane, skips it back outside. Duval gets a touch, and he threw it away, intended for Herbort, but the foul is on McCorkle on the reach-in.
Yeah, McCorkle just almost a quarter a step away, not even a half a step, but a quarter a step away from picking that ball off and taking it down for an easy bucket on the other end, but all for naught as he bumped into the guy and picks up the personal.
6:13 to play, no score here in this opening quarter between the Beavers and the Thunderhawks. Sela has it. A little stop and go up high on the left. Plays it on over for Baldwin. A three, no good. The fight for the ball, tapped around and saved by the big man Mangold. Big Al dumps it off for Johnson. Into the lane, stopped at the side pocket right. And he threw it away. Here's a steal. Coming back the other way. Herbort gives it up, gets it back, lays it in, and wave it off as a charge.
That's tough. That's a tough call, and you know where I'm going to go with this one. It's a situation where McCorkle might have been there, but he was almost underneath the basket, if you will, beyond the backboard. And tough break for the Beavers. And again, if you're East, you got to find a way to get Nate Johnson going. He's had a tough game last game. This first few minutes still struggling a little bit, and we'll see if he can't kind of come out of that funk.
He had 6 points, but also had 6 assists in that last game against Turpin. That win a week ago on Saturday, 50-41. The throw-in from Mangold against full court pressure, it goes to Johnson, and now they'll drop off to a man. 5:39 to play here in this opening quarter. Still no score. Johnson top of the key. Checked by Baldwin, tosses to the far side. Furman on the drive, throws it up in the lane, no good. The big man, Gabe Phillips, with a rebound. Quickly up ahead, here's the lay-in. It's 2-0 on the lay-in by Baldwin.
Good transition right there for the Beavers, pushing the basketball and got an easy lay-in.
Here's Johnson up high on the right, rolls behind a screen. Another screen by the big man Mangold. Kicks it on out. Here's a three from the corner. No good for McCorkle.
East is rushing their shots just a little bit right now. Just settle down.
Duval has it. Sets the high ball pick out on the far side. And now Sela has it. He will run the point for the Beavers. 2-0 Beavercreek. He sets up the offense for the men of Steve Pittman in his first year at the helm for Beavercreek. He dumps it inside. Intercepted initially by Mangold. It'll stay up front. Alex last touched it going out of bounds with 4:44 to play here in this first period.
Yeah, Beavers have retained possession, and they're really just, East is leaving Phillips wide open around the outside. Obviously daring him to kind of shoot a 15-foot jumper, and they're leaving Mangold kind of inside to guard the paint.
Ball comes in on a lob from the baseline. Now here's Duval on the dribble in the lane. Pops 15. It missed just about everything. Sela recovers and they'll reset.
Yeah, he almost missed so poorly that it was an opportunity to get an offensive rebound.
By the way, Trevor Howard's in the ball again for Lakota East. Here's a drive by Phillips shut off in the lane, and now back outside. Baldwin dumps it down low, shut around on a double team. The kick out back to Baldwin. He tries to fill the lane, kicks it back out to the corner.
Great team defense by East right there.
Herbort skips it on over for Selah. Selah left of the lane, back out for Baldwin. Right hand dribble, and now again, great defense as you mentioned, Trace. Duval gets a touch. Herbort with 3:56 left to play here in this first period. Stationary dribble up high on the right, checked by Furman. Two hands it back this way, it goes to Duval, back over for Selah. Selah, spin dribble into the lane, draws a double team on the elbow. Here's a kick out, here's a corner three, it skips off the rim, and the chase down initially by Mangold, but it's saved by the Beavers.
Miscommunication by East right here. That three guys around the ball, and neither one of them grabbed it because they thought the other one was going to.
Phillips plays it back up on top to the point guard, Selah, with 3:25 to play here in this opening quarter. 2-0 in favor of the Beavers. You think this was a football score?
Well, I don't know about football. I'd say more like baseball at this point, Jeff.
Herbort plays it back for Baldwin, goes to the lane, throws up the runner. It's an air ball, but he drew the foul. It's on the big man, Mangold. That's his first.
That's tough. Everybody wants to talk about shot clock, Jeff. Beavercreek's not trying to hold the ball. It's just the fact that East's defense has been so effective that they've not been able to chance to shoot the basketball. They run 1 minute and 40 seconds off the clock, and they get rewarded for 2 free throws.
First free throw by the left-hander is good. Shalom Baldwin, a 6'3" junior forward. He's averaging just about 8 points a ball game in these playoffs, and he's shooting now 65% at the line. He got them both. 4-0. Token pressure, and again, that baseball score, as you're saying, right now it's a shutout.
Seems to be that way. We'll see if East can't find themselves to relax just a bit. I mean, right, they're pushing the envelope a little too much right now.
Mangold has it top of the key, dumps it high-low for Johnson, throw it away. Out to the baseline, just a little too tall for Johnson, and you know that's a tall shot.
That is, and it's just, again, got to kind of settle down. I know it's easier said than done, but you're just 250 away from the first period being over, and you really have only gotten 2 good looks at the basket.
Selah has it, plays to Baldwin, now down to the corner where Gabe Phillips collects it, side pocket right, checked by Mangold. He dribbles back on out. Alex giving him all he can handle. Herbort throws it away. Adkins plays it up front. Johnson into the lane. Oh, a nice move into the lane and score.
Beautiful move by Johnson. That's probably the best part of his game, in my opinion. When he gets headed downhill, it's hard to stop him.
The creativity in traffic to make it 4-2. With 2:21 left to play here in this opening quarter. Johnson had averaged about 17 points a ball game. He's a secondary threat here in these playoffs, but right now it doesn't matter. It's a 2-point contest. Here's a drive by Selah, and he turns it over. A great job of on-the-ball defense by Trevor Howard to deny him a path.
I actually think Trevor Howard, in my opinion, is the best on-ball defender in the GMC, which is wild to say. He's not a starter, but at the end of the day, I've watched enough basketball in the GMC to feel like I can say that with confidence.
He had 2 huge threes against Turpin a week ago. Stop and go top of the key, Johnson. Checked by Baldwin. He rolls left of the lane. He dumps it off. It goes to Howard. He has put it on the deck, finally does. Plays it top of the key, Furman. Nowhere to go from the lane, and back up on top. Adkins gives it right back to Furman. Down to the corner, it goes to Howard. Returns it up high for Furman. Back out to the sideline. Howard gets a touch, couple dribbles. Furman now quickly passes it back to Howard on the left, and now inside for Johnson. He plays it for Mangold. He lays it up no good. He got the rebound. It's loose on the floor. Selah comes up with it.
And another bunny to miss by East, and might have gotten bumped, but honestly, I appreciate the no call.
Duval has it up high. He sets a screen for Selah.
Got a mismatch inside on Howard.
Skip pass to the near side. Herbort, and we got a foul.
Yes.
Furman bided up on Chris Herbort, and that's his first.
Absolutely. Furman tried to jump the pass and unfortunately got a little too aggressive, and by the time it got over his fingertips to try for the steal, ran into the Beaver, and he's going to pick up a foul, and finally got some subs here.
Caden had the big game against Turpin a week ago, a team-high 16. He had a big night at the free throw line. I think 9 of 10, if I recall.
That it is, and there's
Howard.
Howard.
A throwaway. Howard into the lane. He's waiting for the rest of his troops. Plays back to Furman. He thought about 3, now drives baseline, turning the corner, going to the hoop. Shots missed, but we got a foul with 1:07 to play.
I think it got botched out of bounds. Basically, the ball got poked away from Furman. They're going to call baseline out of bounds. It's going to be East basketball.
Throw-in will come from Coles. Baseline out of bounds to the left. He plays it up high. Adkins, the coach's son. Checked by Duval, and now throws it into the paint where Charlie Kenrich, we haven't seen him, I think, all playoff. He's in the ball game now.
With just 50 seconds left, it wouldn't surprise me if East took the last shot. They have Johnson and Mangold on the bench. This isn't the best offensive kind of set they have out there.
And the big man fell down. So it's a travel against, looking to see if it looked like it was Kenrich down there. It was. So with 46.4 left to go here in this first quarter, 4-2, Beavercreek has the ball with a 2-point lead. Herbort has it, top of the key. Tosses it out to the far side, Duval, and now Selah. Right point, and it's deflected and taken away by Adkins. Up ahead for Kenrich. He outlets. It goes out to the sideline to Howard, and we'll see if they reset.
I'll tell you what, Howard really caused that errant pass by Selah, and then he had an opportunity to try to push the envelope and score, and he pulls it back out for the last shot.
Howard plays it back, Jaden Coles. 12 on the game clock. They are playing for a final shot. Looks for a screen, rolls right to the lane, drives, turns around, has no one to throw to, threw it away. Here's a throw up at the buzzer. It's off the front end of the rim from Mandy Harris Strayhorn, and that's how this first quarter ends. 4-2 in a defensive shootout here in Cincinnati. This is the March to Columbus here on Chatterbox Live. After one period, it's 4-2 along with Trace Fowler. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us for our March to Columbus here on Chatterbox Live. It's a district day to be sure. The start of not one, not two, not three, 4 of them today here at the Cintas Center.
Yeah, doing our best LeBron James, if you will, out here in the Cintas Center tonight. But at the end of the day, I think that hopefully at some point, not only in this game but the rest of the day, the kids can kind of relax. It is a little daunting when you walk out into a big arena, a big floor. It just seems like you got 2 quality basketball teams and you don't expect the score to be 4-2, and I think a lot of that just has to be what the moment is about. We'll see if they can't kind of settle those nerves, and we'll get back to playing some good basketball here soon.
See Mangold and Johnson back out for Lakota East. McCorkle will take on the ball handler as Selah, and he threw it away for Johnson. Coming out to the right wing, he'll throw it down!
The two-handed slam this time, Jeff. He had a couple one-handeds last week that didn't go his way. He took the safe and for sure two-handed jam.
We're tied up at 4, our first tie of the ball game. Here's Harris Strayhorn with the ball, tosses over to the far side. Duval up high on the right, checked by Johnson, and now Selah top of the key. He rolls behind the high screen, now comes left of it. Bounce passes it back outside. Here's Harris Strayhorn for 3, no good. Mangold the rebound. Yeah, we're tied at 4. Go ahead.
Beavercreek's playing a lot of perimeter basketball right now, not getting into the lane. Oh, that's just way too hard.
Johnson looking inside for Mangold. He wanted the hot shot pass. We were talking about baseball in the first quarter. That was the good old-fashioned heater.
Oh, that was way too hard. And fortunately for East, they're able to retain possession because it bounced off a Beaver. But I can promise you, Alex Mangold might be an incredible player, but he's not catching that.
The lob entry from the baseline goes to Johnson, fills the lane, goes to the rack, missed the shot, he drew the foul. So Natives account for all the points that East has had so far this afternoon.
And he did a good job there of using his body to miss Selah. Selah was sitting there in the middle of the lane to try to take a charge, and he kind of angled away from Selah and was able to kind of get a little bit of the contact to get a chance to go to the line for 2.
Johnson at 6'3" officially. He plays a little bit bigger than that, averaging just under 11 points a contest here in these playoffs. 8 for 11 now after the free throw, and the first lead for Lakota East at 7:06. He got them both.
And he did. We'll see if they pick up full court again. East does. They're going to back off and play half court. Rightfully so.
Yusuf Selah has it. Right of the key, 6-4 East with the ball. They rotate the ball around down to the corner. Herbort has it, side pocket left.
Good defense.
Denial. Initially off the hands of Johnson, but played back to Sela. Fills the lane, goes to the rack, missed the shot, Mangold the rebound. Alex has been cleaning the boards like Windex.
He's doing that for sure down there. He had a chance to get an outlet, but that's the screen I was telling you about.
Oh, beauty. Here's Johnson in the lane. He pops from 15 and good.
They've done that before. Obviously, you can't see, but Mangold's done this multiple times throughout the year. He sets a screen at half court for the ball handler bringing the ball down, and if you don't communicate, you run into a brick wall. And right there, Mangold set a beautiful screen, clean as can be, freed up Johnson, and here come back the Beavers, but you got to communicate if you're the Beavers.
8-4. It's an 8-0 run here by the home team here in Cincinnati, Lakota East. Sela has it up high on the right. Working on McCorkle. 6:14 to play. A little stop and go, nowhere to go. Now drives into the lane, shut off on the elbow. He bounces it out to Herbert. Herbert stuck off the short corner. Throw it away. It's in the front court.
Let it go if you're Mangold.
What are you doing? And now it's into the hands of Sela, and I understand why. It should have been an over and back, but instead, Beavercreek will recover with 6 to play.
Yeah, Mangold just kind of got caught in a situation where he perhaps wasn't sure what happened. The Beavers threw the ball away, went past half court, and it was a foot race between him and a Beaver to try to get to it. And Mangold dove after it like B. Rose, if you will, since we're in Cincinnati. And you didn't need to do that because it obviously would have been a turnover just to let the Beavers touch it. It would have been an over in the back. But you can see Coach Clint Atkins kind of asking Mangold, what are you doing? But you can't fault the kid for hustling, and he was doing that just there.
Absolutely. So what's been apparent here for about the first 10 minutes of this contest, Alex Mangold is cleaning up the glass and setting a wall pick over at half court. And right now, the ball denial up high is something good here for Lakota East.
Yeah, I think if anything, East comes out, and sometimes they are a little inconsistent on the offensive end, right? If you want to say that there's a chink in the armor of what they have, it perhaps is their offensive side. But one thing that they have is their defense travels, man. And they play incredible on-ball defense and good team defense, and the Beavers are finding that out right now.
In these playoffs, Lakota East is only giving up 35 points a ball game. The most they've given up was to Turpin a week ago with 41. Here's Sela between the circles, checked by McCorkle. Into the lane he goes. He throws up the left hand. His shot was blocked, but before that could happen, he drew the foul.
Yeah, I think they're going to give McCorkle perhaps. I would assume they have to.
Well, the whistle came before the shot was rejected by Big Alex. So Sela to the line, he throws it up and he breaks the 8-0 run by Lakota East.
He does, and he's been really one of the only folks, that, if you will, for the Beavers that have really kind of been aggressive. Done a lot of perimeter passing, and then when Sela gets it, he does make an attempt to get to the rim, and fortunately for Beavers, he found a chance to get to the line, and he makes them both.
Averaging just under 14 a ball game, he makes it 8-6 with 5:42 to play in this first half. Johnson has it between the circles. He has it all of Lakota East 8 points. Bounce feed, it goes to Howard, right of the lane, back over for Johnson, left of it. He drives up the lane to the rack, shut off on the double, turns around, and one! He's got 10 in the book!
He's a tough matchup, right? I mean, you gotta test the outside shot with him because he proves he can hit it, but then once he gets inside, it's game over for these Beavercreek guards. You're gonna have to perhaps try to double him when he gets down low, but it's easier said than done, Jeff.
Baldwin picks up his second. Here's the bonus and good. 11 points. All 11 points for East.
Just as I said, last game probably wasn't his best game he's ever had in his life. He turns that around.
Sela, wraparound pass. Saved initially by Johnson and saved by East. Into the hands of Howard, back to Johnson. He drills up ahead across half court. Now stutters into the lane. He two-hands it on over for Howard. Side pocket right. They'll reset. Furman has it top of the key, but has yet to put it on the floor. Now plays Coles up high on the left, checked by Sela. Furman once more up high on the right. Now Johnson will reset the offense top of the key. Back on over to the right side for Howard. Howard down to the corner where Furman collects it. Left hand dribble back out right of the lane and back up on top where Mangold has it. Looking to sit the ball screen, none to be had. Tosses back to the side and now it back to Furman. Furman on over for Jaden Coles. They're taking their sweet old time, 11-6 with the lead.
Good defense by the Beavers, too. They're going to kind of give an East a taste of their own medicine.
Furman dribble drive to the rack! Missed the shot, but he drew the foul. No charge.
Yeah, it's another situation, as I mentioned. Anytime you get around the rim, it's tough in high school basketball to leave your feet and go for the lay-in because there's a chance to take a charge from anywhere underneath the basket, and that was the case there. So, as much as I didn't like the charge down here on this end for the Beavers or Beavercreek, I'm not a big fan of that one either. But it's here nor there, and finally got some scoring this quarter, though, that's for sure.
Well, that 4-2 score that we saw after one was UGLY.
That's right.
11-6 is your score with 4:25 to play here in half number one. Yusef Sela has it, points out the half court for Steve Pittman and his crew. And you look at him, he's standing up. He's a big load out there on that sideline. Duval gets a touch and plays it back. Sela stuck in the lane, pops 12 feet away, in and out. Tapped around, saved. Here's the putback, no good for Phillips. He puts it back for two.
Just a big guy inside. And Mangold's big as well, but he kind of got forced underneath. But here's that screen again.
And this time, Baldwin was a little bit more wise to it.
That he was.
Here's Johnson, a little stop and go, right of the lane. Sets the high ball screen for Coles coming back up top. He works in on a bigger Adam Duval and now plays to Johnson up high in the left. 3:37 to play first half. 11-8 your score. Here's Johnson. He pops 15. It's off the left side of the rim. The rebound out to the side by Herbort. He throws it up for Sela. Yusef has it up high on the right. He draws a double team there and back for Duval. Cuts into the lane. He throws up a floater from 12. That's no good. He drew the contact.
He did. And they also had Phillips inside there, and they missed him just briefly, but Phillips had a chance to kind of get a little bit of an easy bucket, and they just weren't able to find him, but might not be all for naught. They might pick up two anyways.
That's 6 team fouls against Lakota East in this one. First free throw, rattles around, up and around and good. Front lip, back end, front lip through.
Yep.
This one a little bit more conventional. He got them both. Back come the Beavers on a bit of a run. Here's Johnson. It's a 1-point contest and a little 4-0 run by Beavercreek.
Good
Passing
pass.
the lane for Mangold, off his hands, he'll dribble out. Now he skips it back the other way. Quick touch pass back to Johnson up high. Back outside. Here's Coles from the three. And good. Out from the corner, Shaden Coles.
Big time shot right there by Coles. A little bit of a break in the ice. Beavers made a run, and there they come back. And there's Howard again.
But saved by Sela. And now here's another steal. Here's Johnson off the left wing. Working in. Going to the rack. Throws it up. No good. Rebound. Pump back for two.
Great job by Mangold right there. Trailing the play. Johnson with the left-handed layup. Misses it. Mangold there to kind of clean it up and put it back in for two. And we're going to get our first timeout of the ball game.
16-10. The biggest lead of the ball game for Lakota East, who came in at 23-2, the 2 seed in the Cincinnati bracket. Beavercreek at 16-9. They were the 2 seed out of Dayton, out of the GWAC, in a tough conference that they play in. Obviously, Centerville, who we'll see later on tonight, they're number 1 out of the Dayton bracket, and the team that may be the best isn't in the Division I playoffs. They're in Division II, Trotwood Madison.
Yeah, I would argue. I think that there's a lot of folks that would argue that perhaps the best team in the GWAC doesn't play in Division I. And it's kind of tough to figure that out sometimes, but hey. All for Trotwood, with the opportunity, but they have D1 talent, that's for sure. Doesn't matter what division. Similar to LaSalle, a team that we'll see later today in football, right? I don't know if LaSalle Lancer football is really D2 quality, but I think that they proved that throughout the year as well.
Yes, they did. They certainly did. By the way, coming up at the half, Reid Mouse will take you along at halftime for our March to Columbus, as we are doing something a little bit new and improved here on the platform. We're doing a quadruple header. This is our first, so I might as well do it. And here's a steal by Coles coming up the right side. A controlled 2-on-1 break. He'll wait and then now stop. He'll skip it, and it's too tall for Howard. He was stationed in the left corner pocket, waiting to take a three, but it was too high, and we turn it back over with 2:24 to play.
Yeah, Coach Clint Atkins might have to do his best Gene Hackman speech in the locker room, telling him that, hey, I know we're trying to make these cross-court passes, but it's still the same length, fellas.
Sela stuck in the lane. He throws up a runner and a prayer answer.
It's a good move by Sela. Really impressed with his play.
Here's Johnson behind the back dribble across half court. Into the lane he goes. He throws one up. His shot is blocked. Blocked by Adam Duvall. He plays up to head to Baldwin. Now back to Duvall. Throws it in the lane, thrown away. Yeah. Atkins collects it, and he gives it up to Johnson, and will wait for the rest of his troops.
Right through Phillips' hands. Great pass, but Phillips just, maybe took his eye off the ball there.
Cole shot about 3 on the left side pocket. He'll dribble back on out. 1:42 to play in this first half. 16-12. Lakota East by 4. Mangold in the corner, where he had a big 3 in the game against Turpin a week ago, and this one deflected out of bounds as he threw an entry pass. I'm trying to see who he threw it into, but it's out of bounds, but it'll stay up front. 1:33 to play in this first half as Mangold will come out. He has been a big factor here in this first half.
He has. He's been a when you got 2 6'7" players you got to play against, it helps when you got a guy like Mangold out there.
Johnson has it up high on the right. Checked by Baldwin. He'll dribble backwards, back to the center jump circle. Left-hand dribble outside. It goes to Trevor Howard. Spin dribble left of the lane, and we got a hold. Sela, as Howard made his move to the left, beat him badly off the dribble, and Sela had to grab him to prevent an easy layup.
That he did, and we'll see if they continue this, the Beavers do. They have Duvall right now on Coles, and just based off height alone, you'd think Coles would have a little bit of a quickness advantage. We'll find out right here.
Coles with a stop and go top of the key, and this one deflected out of bounds out to the sideline by Duvall. Will stay up front. Side out of bounds in the forecourt to our right. 16-12 with $1:13 to play here in this first half. It goes into the back court for Nate Johnson. Baldwin picked him up. He gets a high screen from Kenrich. That's a beauty screen. Outside, Coles from the corner. A 3 is off the side of the iron.
Beavers got numbers.
Beavers, here's Baldwin in the lane. Missed the bunny. Low on the left, and it will head the other way. He got it back, lost the handle with his right hand, out of bounds to the baseline.
Yeah,
wow.
Just an unfortunate set of events right there for the Beavers. They had a 3-on-1 and really an easy left-hand lay-in right there, if you will, for Baldwin, and he just missed it.
Coles will have it against personal pressure by Duvall as he takes it across half court. Dribbles into the lane.
You gotta stop ball.
He missed it. Pulled back by Kendricks.
Layups are tough to come by, I guess. Coles missed it, but then Kendricks was there to clean up the mess.
Charlie gets his first bucket of these playoffs. 18-12. 35 seconds to play, first half.
Beautiful.
Here's a jumper, 15, and put it home for Sela.
Beautiful move by Sela.
18-14 is your score. Here's Coles with the ball. I don't know why Beavercreek thought that maybe because with Johnson not handling it that they could allow that middle to be open. Here's Coles between the circles. I guess they'll play for a final shot. 10 to play. Here's Johnson, rolls behind a Kenrich screen. Left of the lane, dribbles baseline, turns the corner, threw it out of bounds, and it'll stay up front with 4.3 to play.
We'll see if East can they're going to sub Mangold back in for what seems to be obviously a set play. Same with Furman. So they're going to bring out 2 scorers, and they're going to sub out 2 defensive guys for this last 4.3 seconds. We'll see if they can get a set piece that works.
And one of the biggest buckets we'd seen all year was a bucket by Furman in the Princeton game. The throw-in goes to Mangold. He pops from 10 feet away, no good. Here's a throw-up from 3/4 court. It's a little short, and this first half has come to a close. Your score at intermission. It's 18-14. Lakota East, the 2 seed out of Cincinnati, leading Beavercreek, the 2 seed out of the Dayton region. We'll take a timeout. On the other side, it'll be Reid Mouse and his merry band of coaches when we return. This is the March to Columbus here on Chatterbox Live.
Welcome back to the Centos Center here. We are at the district championship between Lakota East and Beavercreek. 18-14 is our score at halftime. I'm Reid Mouster along with Coach Van Winkle and Coach Price. Guys, it was a very low-scoring affair, especially that first quarter, and that slow tempo, that slow pace. Who do you think that favors, Beavercreek or Lakota East?
I think it favors Lakota East. Lakota East is used to playing that way. They're very capable of playing slow and moving the ball and then keeping the ball to the inside for Beavercreek, keeping them out of transition. But I think it favors East right now.
Right, yeah. I mentioned that before the game. East can play 2 different ways. They can slow it down, and I think they can play in the open court and speed the game up. But I agree with Coach 100% that this type of game right here definitely favors East. They've been in way more grinded out games. Looking at Beavercreek's schedule, they only played in the 40s a couple times, and then the GMC on Friday night. That's very typical.
Yes,
and so I think this definitely favors favors East a lot.
Nate Johnson scored all of Lakota East's first 11 points of that game, and really it seemed like that thunderous dunk to start the second quarter really got them going. Talk about just how well Nate has been playing and what he's been able to do out there.
Well, I think he did get out in transition a couple times. He did penetrate on the dribble and go into the low post that way because they haven't been able to pass the ball into him. So he dribble penetrated, but he is a real key to their team because as they go in, Beavercreek goes in at halftime and maybe tries to adjust a little bit, and that opens it up for some other people. Caden Furman had 2 fouls early and didn't play much in the second quarter after he got those fouls. But I think, obviously, getting Nate going and keeping him engaged, I think that's really important for East.
Yeah, Coach said it earlier. You got to keep Nate in front of you. Easier said than done, but you got to keep him in front of you. And I don't think Beavercreek has done a great job of keeping him in front. And then Coach and I are sitting up there, and he's calling every underneath out-of-bounds play and everything that East is running. But Jade, I think the last name's Cole, number 5 for East. Coach was talking about him. He kind of came on because of injury, but he had a good first half, Coach.
He had a really good first half. He can score different ways. He had a tip-in for them. He had a three-pointer. He just presents a different level of athleticism on defense as well for East. And he does make a difference on both ends because he can play both ends.
Yeah, and on the flip side, East is keeping Beavercreek in front of them. East is guarding like crazy. And like Coach had mentioned up there, Beavercreek's not running a lot of actions, so they're kind of spreading it out and trying to drive. That plays in East's favor, too. You got to screen them a little bit more. And East is so good in their help defense. If you're not screening and putting those defenders in situations where they have to think, it's going to be tough. But, again, it all starts and stops with Nate Johnson. He had 11 of their 18. He's playing at a high level. But like Coach said, halftime, Coach Pittman's going to do something. He might even start running 2 people at him, but they're not going to let him beat him. Somebody else for East is going to have to step up. And like Coach said, Furman had 2 fouls, or the shooter for East had 2 fouls, so maybe he needs to step up too.
Yeah, the one thing we talked a lot about Lakota East, we talked in the pregame about their defense is their identity. Well, the new Beavercreek had a guy in Adam Duvall, and he's been held completely quiet through that first half. What have they been able to do to keep a great player like that?
Well, I think, first of all, you got Mangold, the low post guard. And Mangold's been physical, and he's banged him a little bit, and he doesn't let him have good post position. So he's pushed him out a little bit or pushed him down, and that creates difficult passing angles for Beavercreek. And then he's just, he's a big enough player to challenge any player that Duval would, or any shot that Duval might make inside. And then again, their length and their help and their preparation. East is always very prepared, and their help side, their hands are active, and there isn't a whole lot of movement with Beavercreek when they try to get it in.
And Mangold's a difference, and Coach mentioned this before. He's coming into his own here lately because he's not removed too far from a major injury. It actually happened against Oak Hills, but he's playing better and better as the season's progressed, especially at the end here. But his interior defensive presence, that's a key for them right now, and he is doing a great job on Duvall because he's held him in check.
Yeah, not only has he done very well defensively, the boards that he's been able to get, he's been able to grab a lot of boards, and really there's been a battle there late in that first half between Gabe Phillips and Alex Mangold grabbing boards. How much do you think the rebound, I know you mentioned the rebounding, you got to rebound well to win a ball game. How much is that going to play its part in the second half?
Well, obviously, it plays a huge part because if you rebound, that means you can get out in transition. If you're rebounding also, Beavercreek isn't making shots. So it's always important. Rebounding is such a crucial statistic for any team that you rebound. It means there are a lot of misses, too.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, too, Coach, is experience matters. And East has been here. Beavercreek hasn't been here lately. And that rebounding is going to end up now being long rebounds because Beavercreek, they probably start losing their patience, start taking some bad shots. It could be long rebounds, too. So the effort rebounds are going to be just as much as important as the interior ones because if you miss a 3, it's going to be a long opportunity. Who's going to track that thing down? So, again, experience matters, and the further we go and the tighter this game is and low possession game this is, it has to favor East.
Coach Atkins, he's been here before. You guys are coaches. Well, if you're Coach Atkins in the locker room right now, what are you telling your team?
I'm telling them not to do a whole lot different on defense. On defense, they've done a great job. Offensively, maybe get a little bit more movement and try to maybe post Nate or Alex Mangold in a little bit different way, because I think right now it's been pretty predictable when they're trying to post them up. Just to be patient, run the motion, and be patient for that good shot, because they'll come. And East is used to that, and East has been coached to do that. That's the way motion works. Sometimes you don't get quick shots.
Yep, and if you're Coach Pittman for Beavercreek, you only got 14 points. I don't know exactly how many times they've been this low, but it probably hasn't been any all year long where they've been at 14 points at halftime. So he's probably talking to them, let's don't hit home runs here, guys. Let's get back to our stuff, try to get out in transition, get some twos, get in this game, and in the fourth quarter, if it's less than 5 or less than 8, it's going to be a heck of a game.
Yeah, well, it's 18-14 right now as we're going to head into the second half. Geoff and Trey still going to be calling that game. We'll be back on the post-game show when the game's complete. We'll have a district championship. Thank you for watching, and still continue to listen to Chatterbox Live. We're going to take a break.
The revelation here in this ball game has been Nate Johnson. 6 points in the last game against Turpin. He has 11 first half points to lead all scores. He gets the ball on the entry to start things off in half number 2, and away we go back here in Cincinnati. He's checked out by Baldwin. Out high on the right, giving him all he can handle. Rolls off a high Mangold screen into the lane. Now gives it up, throws it outside for Coles on a bounce. He dashes into the lane. Wraparound pass, it goes to Alex. His shot is blocked by Phillips. He recovers and saves it for Johnson up high. He'll reset the offense. And now we got a push.
Maybe get Sala for a hand check out there near really half court. Some situation where if you had to do it again, you probably wouldn't have been as aggressive with Johnson, not a guy you traditionally are going to be able to steal the ball from.
Throw-in goes side out of bounds from our left, on over for the Johnson into the backcourt. Now finally takes it up ahead, and now Baldwin has the assignment on him. He gets a double screen up high. He gives it up, he gets it back, he two-hands it to Furman up high on the left. Now Mangold down into the paint, working around, goes baseline, he puts up the shot, no good. And the rebound down to Adam Duvall for Beavercreek. He plays a Sala in a hurry, into the lane. He waits for the rest of his team, and he puts it up, no good. He loses the ball, he gives it back, and it's saved by one of his teammates. It looks like Duvall. Duvall on over for Baldwin up high on the left. Two-hands it on over for Chris Herbort. Phillips gets a touch and back to Sala. Sala into the lane. He goes with the runner. He throws it up and one.
Another of all the guys out there, and I know that, it's not just Sala. Obviously, you have guys that have had great, whether it's Herbert or Baldwin or Duvall or Phillips, or they have multiple guys out there that can play, but Sala's just been the most impressive tonight.
He got the bonus.
Or should I say day at this point.
Sala's got 9. It's 18-17 with 6:45 to play here in this third. Furman has it up high on the right, plays it on over for Coles between the rings, and now they go to McCorkle on side pocket right. He dribbles back out up on high between the rings, and now plays to Coles, who returns off the sideline. Johnson gets a touch up high, has yet to put it on the deck. Two-hands it back on over for McCorkle. High low for Furman. He goes underneath the hoop and lays it in.
Good reverse layup by Furman, but even a better pass.
Caden has his first bucket of the night, 20-17. Caden's been the leading scorer on this ball club here in these playoffs. Sala stuck on the double, rolls to the right of the key. Now high-low and throws it away for Furman. On his own back line, he gives it up there Johnson. He'll wait for the rest of his troops. Check by Sala, rolls off a high Mangold screen to the free throw line, kicks it on out for McCorkle, side pocket left. 5:46 to play here in this third period. 20-17, a three-point spread here for East. Coles plays McCorkle high on the left, looking inside, puts it on the deck with the right hand, coming left to right. Checked by Sala, and now goes to the left-right side pocket. It goes to Coles, a wraparound pass intended for Furman, and it's tapped out of bounds by Herbort.
We got an East fan about 7 rows deep into the stands looking to pull the trigger.
Ball will be thrown in from the forecourt, and we see the emergence of Maylee Harris Strayhorn into this contest. He'll take the place of Adam Duvall for the Beavers.
Does he get thrown out if he shoots the ball from there?
I would give him extra points for that, wouldn't you?
I thought it'd be funny. It would have been funny. He acted like he was going to shoot it. He should have shot it.
They play it into Mangold. He draws a double. He draws a triple. He throws one up, and his shot is blocked by Phillips.
Great defense by Phillips. Just stayed on his feet. Didn't leave his feet, I should say, and good block of Mangold.
Here's Salo right of the lane, and before he can make the pass, we got some contact and a whistle away from the ball, what it looks like. Or no, it's a hold. It's a hold on the ball handler, so it's on McCorkle. And he'll come out of the ball game.
Will, and Sailor's just causing some problems. They're going to put Howard on him, and like I said before, I think Howard's probably the best on-ball defender that East definitely has, and maybe in the GMC.
Throw in, it goes over for Sala into the backcourt. Howard will have the assignment on him, and Trevor did a great job of on-the-ball defense back in the second quarter.
And he will, and you can see Sala's not as aggressive this time because he just knows.
He's stuck in the paint. He'll throw it back out to Baldwin. Baldwin lost it momentarily. Now he gets it back. Top of the key. Bounce pass to the wing. Harris Strayhorn, and now they throw it inside, and it's initially saved by Furman out on the corner, and it's out of bounds. Who is it on? Some indecision, and it's going to stay up front.
Yeah, they're going to basically say Furman was on the line, perhaps, when you try to save the ball, and when it's on the opposite baseline, a little tough to see for us, but we'll see.
And we are broadcasting from a baseline, our first.
Yeah, I don't mind
this
it.
Year. At least we're down close.
Yeah, we are.
Here's Baldwin, jab step now into the lane, turn around, he dumps it off for Phillips, low on the left, he throws it up, no good, and Mangold the rebound, and we got a tie-up or a foul?
Got to be a foul, right? Got to be a foul.
It is a foul, and it's on the big man, Gabe Phillips.
A good job by Mangold of keeping his verticality, right? There's a chance of the big men always wanting to lower their hands just a little bit, enough to get a whistle blown on him, and he did a good job of keeping his verticality by putting his hands straight up, and no call for the opportunity to get to the line for the Beavers. So we'll see if he's come down.
Team fouls are even at 2, 20-17 with 4:19 to play here in this third period. Furman has it up high on the right, puts it on the deck, bounce feed inside Mangold, check by Phillips, skips it back to this way. Here's Coles for 3, left pocket, no good. The rebound to Furman. He'll kick it back on out. They'll work back over for Coles, driving in from the baseline, stuck on the double team. He threw it away into the hands of Baldwin for Beavercreek. Now over for Sala, top of the key, dancing into the lane. Lost it, stolen away by Johnson, but he'll get called for the reach-in.
Whew, that's a close call.
Wow.
Tough to see from down here, obviously, but man, I tell you what, as quick as Johnson can be sometimes, it's tough to call a foul on something that looks that clean.
Here comes the coach's son, Nathan Adkins, 6 foot tall, a sophomore for Lakota East. He's into the ball game. Sala has it. Two-hand toss, it goes to Baldwin, stuck right of the lane by Big Mangold. He dribbles back out to the sideline. He fakes a pass outside, now inside, and now a reach-in. As Phillips collected it low on the right, he was checked from behind by the big man Mangold. Alex picks up his third. He's going to have to come out. Charlie Kenrich, who got his first bucket of these playoffs. He hadn't seen any minutes in the first 3 games. And here's the ball taken away. Here's Howard in the lane, spun around, he traveled. Oh, a tough shot in the lane. He tried to maintain bounce, and while doing so, he took an extra stutter with his left foot.
That he did. I mean, a good job of him picking off the pass, but he just got in a situation where he was kind of bobbling the ball down here on this end and then got called for steps, and they're going to get him for a whistle now.
And then they're going to get him for a reach-in on the ball handler. So Trevor picks up his 5th, and all of a sudden that's 5 quick against the home team, Lakota East. 3:37 to play here in this third period, 20-17 in favor of the Thunderhawks. Well, we expected a defensive affair coming into this one. We have certainly got it. Here's Salo with the ball, checked by Trevor Howard. Up high on the right, he makes his move off the right wing. He's stopped outside the 3-point line. Now he picks up it and throws 2 hands on over for Harris Strayhorn and down to the corner to Baldwin. Side pocket left, dribbles back out and plays it back up on top for Herbert. Herbert spins in the lane, kicks it back out for Sala. He pops a 12-footer. He got it. Yusuf Sala, another bucket. He's got 11 to make it 20-19. A 1-point affair here at the Centos Center.
It almost feels like which team's going to find the... Oh, my gosh.
Henrich, another hard screen. Furman got away. He kicks it on. Here's Atkins for their 3. No good. And the rebound to Baldwin. And we got a timeout.
Yeah, I actually think that screen was I'm not saying it was dirty, but I don't know if it was clean either to a certain extent. I was a little bit of a moving, and he kind of took his right shoulder and gave him a little bit of a hip, I don't want to say a hip check, but you know what I'm saying, kind of took his shoulder and threw it into the man a little bit, and Beavercreek literally took a timeout right there just to get on the officials and say this isn't acceptable. If they're going to set a screen legally at the top, that's fine. Don't let them throw their shoulder into our guys.
20-19 here on the timeout, and Kenrich, by the way, Kenrich is an outstanding football player. Over 700 yards for the football team in the fall. So it's not often that he gets set the block. He's usually the ball carrier in those situations. And boy, he has set a couple of picks tonight.
Yeah, he's ready for the contact, that's for sure. If anything else, it shows that rubs off on the hardwood just a little bit for him. But, you know, if you're the Beavers or you're the Hawks, at some point, who's going to kind of be the Robin, if you will, to the Batmans out there? Sela and Johnson are the two guys out there that obviously are dominating from an offensive end for each of the squads. Who is going to come through and hit a couple big shots at the end of this game that might not be Sela or Johnson? I think that is a little bit of the X factor right now. And both teams, they just haven't found any fluidity on the offensive end. It's been, you used the word UGLY earlier, and that has really, that's held its own for the remainder of the game so far. And 2:44 left here in the third. We'll see if they can't figure it out at some point, but I don't know if it's the big arena. I don't know if it's what's on the line, the stakes of the game. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but certainly is not what they're used to for the entirety of the year.
Well, there is an enormity that comes with this, right? You know, you're right. When you play in a big-time Division I college basketball arena, and I got to tell you, the Cintas Center is a gem. When you see this and you know that you're playing here, yeah, you can't help but get a little amped up. Here's Sela out of the timeout, plays to Harris Strayhorn, feeds inside, and a foul from behind. So Kenrich coming behind the back of Gabe Phillips, and Charlie will pick up the personal.
Well, Phillips did a good job of kind of creating his own space down there to where, at this point, right now, no offense to Kenrich, but Phillips is the better of the two in the matchup if he's able to get the ball anywhere near the block.
Out of the foul, and here's Sela on the drive and scoring, and the second lead changes the ball. Here's the other way, Furman, he missed his money. Ball's loose on the floor, picked up by Phillips, and saved, taken away by Johnson. Johnson in the forecourt, and now we've got a stoppage, and we've got a foul.
We got an intentional foul, and I think maybe he grabbed Johnson on the jersey when he went by, out of pure frustration, and I don't know whether or not they're going to, flagrant foul or a technical, doesn't really matter because they are going to give him a flagrant.
So we've only had our second lead change of this ballgame, 21-20, but the defensive mishap on the other side, and then Phillips deciding to grab Johnson or Furman, and now Furman to the line.
Yeah, they're going to send Furman to the line for really the technical free throws, if you will.
He got the first. He was 9 of 10 in the Turpin game a week ago Saturday.
Yeah, and you can see kind of East huddling up, and the Beavers are doing as well. At some point, you got to kind of get your wits about you here and just play the basketball you played all year long.
Deep knee bend, and he gets them both to make it 22-21. By the way, we got a chance to talk to Caden's mom, Trish, prior to the ball game, and she calls him Cade, but apparently she's the only person that does. So we'll keep calling him Caden.
That's right, or she's the only one that's allowed.
Yes.
So we'll just Caden is who we go by.
So out of the fouls, out of the intentional, now Johnson has it, drops it off for Howard, top of the key. 22-21, our third lead change. Here's Johnson low on the right, kicks it back on outside. They rotate the ball around the arc. Howard two-hands it back outside for Coles. Coles into the lane, stuck on the double team. Back outside for Johnson. Johnson side pocket left into the lane. He pops from the elbow. A 15-footer is good. His first points in the second half.
Can't guard that. You can't guard that. Great offense in this game will always beat great defense, and when you rise up from 15 like that, you just can't stop it.
Sela pops from 15. That's off the back end of the iron. No good. He gets it back, and we've got a foul.
Yeah, in a situation where you can't allow Sela to shoot a 17-foot jump shot and then go get his own rebound.
Nate Johnson picks up number 2. And now it's the bonus the rest of the way.
Yeah, and you can start to feel the intensity, if you will, of the building pick up. Every possession starting to kind of become a little more meaningful. And what a low-scoring game, my goodness. 24-21. heading almost into the fourth.
Well, a little surprised in some ways by the scoring output right now as Sela triggers on the front end of one of the bonus. Good. And surprised only because Beavercreek coming in their last 3 games of this tournament has averaged just over 69 points a contest.
Yeah, but this is what East does to teams, right? They just muddy up the waters a little bit and they get them to play, I don't want to say their style of game, but East isn't afraid to play in the 30s.
24-23 as Sela gets them both. Here's Coles quickly up front against Harris Strayhorn. He lost the ball. It's taken away. Here's Herbort the other way. Into the lane. He throws at the runner and good.
Yeah, just a situation where Coles lost the handle of it. Now a little bit of full court pressure from the Beavers.
And back the lead changes the other way. Our fourth lead changed 25-24 with 1:12 to play here in this third. Howard plays. Johnson up high on the left. He has 13 in this ball game. Rolls behind a high screen to the middle of the floor. Checked by Sela. Little stop and go. Gets another screen. Rolls right of the lane and lost it. No, gets it back. He threw it and it'll stay up front. It was tapped out of bounds by one of the Beavers up front, intended for Furman on the sideline.
Was Herbert going to get a fingertip on it? It was a skip pass over to the corner for Furman. Furman did a smart job of letting it go out.
Here's Furman up high on the right, checked by Herbert. He sets the ball screen for Coles coming back the other way. Now Howard top of the key. 40 seconds to play here in this fast-moving third period. Johnson gets it on the high ball screen. He has yet to put it on the deck. Checked by Baldwin. He'll back up off on the dribble. 30 seconds to play. He'll two-hand it back on over for Howard. He'll come around the arc to the right. Now re-step his way back to the left and gives it back up over for Johnson. 20 to play. Checked by Baldwin. A little stop and go. He fakes the move. 15 to play. Bounce pass to the wing. Howard. He feeds inside Kenrich. Skip pass thrown away, but saved by Coles. Back outside for Howard. 7 to play. Skip pass back to the corner, and it's thrown out of bounds. Intended for Furman. He was a little angry with 5.2 left to go. It was just out of his reach out to the baseline.
Yeah, again, East, a lot of times where they're trying to throw these skip passes, they're just way too hot, way too hard. Howard threw that ball and it just got away from him a little bit, and Furman tried to save it, but again, another turnover. You try to save your shot. You held the ball for 30 seconds to get the last shot. You don't even put up a shot, and you give Beavercreek a chance now with the turnover.
Salek has it across half court, into the lane, driving to the rack with the right-hand scoop. No good, and this third quarter has come to a close. Beavercreek has a 1-point lead after 24 minutes. This is our march to Columbus here on Chatterbox Live. 8 more minutes in regulation, we think, here in this one, 25-24. Beavercreek leading Lakota East, and a tight affair here at the Cintas Center, along with Trace Fowler. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us for our March to Columbus here on Chatterbox Live. We hope this is a sign of things to come in our quadruple header district day here in Cincinnati, the front end of 4. We've had a good one so far.
Now we have, we had a close game. Let's call it that. I don't know if it's a good one. Both of these squads really haven't played all that well, to be quite frank. They let a lot of sloppy basketball, a lot of turnovers, and it's just been a situation where you just hope at some point that kind of cleans itself up. Maybe this is the quarter, and nonetheless, I expect us to get something pretty tight down at the end of the wire here.
Ball will be thrown in to Sela to start things off in half or quarter number 4, 25-24. Beavercreek by 1. Checked by McCorkle, who had been saddled with 3. He makes the move coming off the right and now throws a skip pass out to Baldwin. Lost it, but saved by one of his teammates down low. Plays it back to Sela. Duval had initially saved it. Sela into the lane, spins, draws a triple team, back for Baldwin, driving from the baseline right, and kicks it back for Duval. Back over for Baldwin. Baldwin into the lane and plays it back outside. Here's Harris Strayhorn for 3. It's off the corner, no good.
Another rebound for Beavers. At some point, you got to pull down a board. You can't play defense for 50 seconds and give up an offensive rebound.
Sela puts it on the deck, left-hand dribble into the lane, throws up a runner, no good. Is it a charge or a foul?
I think they're going to get a blocking call if I had to guess here.
They're going to stay up front.
No, they're going to call an offensive foul. It almost seemed like the way that East was acting down there, they were not pleased. Turns out they're going to call an offensive foul, and I think, truth be told, the Hawks kind of got away with one right there.
They did. That's 3 on Sela. Full court pressure. Mangold to trigger in from the baseline. Plays it for Johnson. Checked by Baldwin. Personal pressure as he comes across half court. Left the lane. Lost the handle. Got it back. Skips it outside for Furman. Furman back outside for Mangold. Now on over for McCorkle. And it turns for Coles. And everybody's got a touch here in this fourth. Coles a little side-to-side dribble. And now plays it back over for Johnson. Coming off the left wing. Draws a double. He threw it away out to the baseline. So he drew some contact while he was in the air. No foul called, and we head the other way with 6:47 to play.
That's a foul. I mean, that's a foul. I mean, yeah. What else is there to say outside of the fact that I'm not sure what we're watching down here sometimes?
Here's a steal. Mangold into the forecourt and out to Furman, and it's out of bounds out on the sideline, and we'll head back the other way. The ball took an angle to the right, a little knuckle as we think about baseball, right?
Absolutely, a little bit of a screwball action there. And again, if you're East, more importantly, not only are you playing great defense, but you got to pull down a rebound down on the defensive end here.
Lakota East has only scored 4 points since intermission. 4. Here's Sela, stuck in the right elbow.
Move.
Now he cuts into the lane, plays it out for Baldwin. Left of the lane, and now takes it back outside the arc. They rotate the ball outside now, over for Duval. Duval, hands it down to the corner, Herbort. Herbort, baseline right, drives, stuck right of the lane by Furman.
Good defense by East, but again, there's no shot clock, so you can run offense as long as you'd like.
Sela, right of the key, and now a little stop and go. Thought about 3 against McCorkle. Will back off on the dribble. He makes his move coming around McCorkle. He draws a double team. He dribbles back outside top of the key and plays it to Baldwin. Baldwin, little stop and go, working in on Coles. He throws up a runner high on the left, no good. The rebound tapped around once, twice, saved, and out of bounds. Initially saved by East, but it's out of bounds.
I think they're gonna get a foul down on that end, Jeff, with the 2 free throws coming up here. And Mangold wasn't able to kind of get the rebound, but again, another opportunity for the Beavers to score points on a miss.
Alex picks up number 4. We're going to see a lot of Charlie Kenrich down the stretch. First one for Herbert, no good.
Rightfully so. They are going to take Mangold out with his 4th personal.
Herbert came on in, shooting 71.5% at the stripe. He missed on the front end. He right hands it up and good. 26-24, full court pressure. The trigger comes in from Johnson. He gets it up. He gives it back from Kenrich. Into the lane. He is fouled by Herbert. And I think that's what you're going to have to do now the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think that anytime that you get somebody like Johnson going downhill, it's tough to stop him. He tried to get the shot off in time, but they're going to call it on the floor, so it's going to be baseline out of bounds here for the Hawks.
Cole's a toss in just in front of us. Looking inside, throwing it outside on a lob to McCorkle. Jared has yet to put it on the deck against Sela, now finally does. Sets the ball screen for Johnson. He comes back and reverses direction the other way and sends it off now over for Kenrich. Here's a jumper for Furman. Right key, no good, and the rebound down to Baldwin for Beavercreek. 26-24 with 5:09 left to go here in this district final.
McCorkle's been playing great defense on Sela outside. Unfortunately, when you got a guy as talented as Sela is, it's tough.
Here's the blow by the steal by Johnson, coming off the left wing, into the forecourt, into the lane. He throws up a floater, no good, and another foul. And I think they're going to get Herbert again.
But they are, and anytime Johnson gets the ball and coming downhill, he's got to push the envelope and he's got to try to get to the line and or lay it in, right? I think a few times here, East has settled a couple times in transition by not forcing the envelope or trying to force a foul. This time he does just that. He's going to go to the line, see if he can't tie it up.
That's a 6th-team foul, by the way, on the Beavercreek Beavers. First free throw is up and good. By the way, once upon a time when I was in high school in Beavercreek.
That's right.
And you were kind of wondering when we'd bring this one up, right? They used to be called the Batlin Beavers.
The Batlin Beavers.
I don't know if they still call them there in Beavercreek, out there on Dayton Senior Road. 1 of 2. And the rebound down to Gabe Phillips. Here's Herbert outside. Here's a 3. No good. 1 and done on this possession. Kenrich the rebound. Off the miss by Adam Duval. McCorkle has it between the circles. Furman has yet to put it on the deck. Has it high on the right. He disdains the screen and now moves up to the left point. Right hand dribble and now gives it up now finally to Coles. He'll back off on the dribble and now makes his move into the lane. He draws the double team. He pops from 12 feet away.
Yeah.
Hey, guard!
That's at some point, Coles has to take advantage of the mismatch that he has.
Timeout.
There's been a few times where Coles hasn't been aggressive. He's gotten in the lane and he's just not taking that 8-foot jump shot. He's looking for a pass. That time he gets by him and he's able to put it in for 2. That's the biggest mismatch for East, in my opinion, on the floor. Coles, got a 6'7" guy playing against Coles, and his quickness, it's tough to stay in front of him. No offense, I understand, let's be honest here. Duvall's very athletic. He's a great player. But when you're 6'7", you got to be to a top notch to try to guard 6 foot. And I expect Coles, maybe they'll talk in the huddle, if he's continue to be one-on-one, you got to isolate Coles a little bit and just let him do what he just did right there, right? Blow by his man and get a little 8-foot jump shot.
By the way, Duvall in these playoffs has been averaging just over 20 a ball game. 20!
Oh,
he's been held to 2 this afternoon.
Yeah, 70% from 3. You kind of just wait for him to break loose, right? I mean, Sala's had a heck of a game, and you wait for Duvall, this guy that we expected coming in would be a matchup nightmare. Not really been the case, if you will. But it's shaping up to be a heck of a finish.
27-26, our 5th lead change of the ball game with 4:14 to play. But on the Coles bucket and a big one from 12 feet straight on. Scoring has been at a premium this afternoon. It's funny. We had talked about how great the East defense has been perennially throughout the season, only giving up about 41 a ball game. They've only given up 35 a ball game. This afternoon, that might be enough. It might be enough.
We'll see.
Here's Herbert in the lane, stuck out there by Furman. Now plays it over for Baldwin. 2 hands it back out for Sala. Out high on the right, checked by McCorkle. Into the lane, stuck by Jared. He'll have to dribble back outside to the top of the key.
Great on-ball defending by McCorkle right there. And you got to expect Beavers to get Duvall involved at some point, right?
Herbert off the screen, high-low, down-low for Duvall. Shot's no good! High off the window, we've got a foul as Baldwin came on over the back of the man rebounding there. With 3:44 to play.
They're going to get Baldwin for the foul there as he bumped in, I believe, Furman. And that will put them in the bonus here for a 1-and-1.
And you can see some deep breaths from Caden.
Yeah, he got hit a little bit there. I think he's just trying to shake off the cobwebs, if you will, and some big free throws here from Furman.
First free throw on the front end of one of the bonuses, good.
Big free throws, man. I tell you what, the one thing I've taken away at the end of this year is just how clutch some of these kids are.
He was 9 of 10 a week ago. 28-26. Again, he throws it up and in.
Big time bucket. We'll see if East picks up full court here. McCorkle's on sale. He's trying to face guard him, not let him get the ball.
Man pressure. 29-26 with 3:40 left to go here in this District 1 final. Baldwin has it, and now he dribbles back up on high. One hands it back on outside for Herbert.
Got to get Duvall the basketball. He didn't touch it on the last possession. At some point, you got to get him to him, right?
Herbert stuck left of the lane, wrap around pass. It goes to Duvall, low on the right. He throws it up, no good. We've got a foul down underneath. Gabe Phillips, beg your pardon.
Yeah, they're going to go. Phillips is going to go to the line and think they're going to get.
So Johnson picks up the personal for Lakota East, number 3.
Wow.
On the stud player.
I thought they were going to get Kintrich on trying to draw the charge there, and said that they must have thought Johnson reached in, but big free throws again on the other end for the Beavers.
Gabe Phillips is 4 of 6 at the charity stripe in these playoffs. A high arcing free throw, and he drew rain on that one.
Yeah, that thing almost hit the top of the ceiling. Good thing we're not playing in the middle school gym.
Kenrich comes out. They put Mangold back in for Lakota East. You know that Clint Atkins is thinking this is winning time right now. A loose ball, and it's a rebound chased down in the corner by Johnson. It's a 2-point contest. Johnson met at half court by Baldwin. He rolls off the high screen from Mangold.
Game-deciding possession right here, Jeff. This is a game-deciding possession.
McCorkle hands it off. Johnson, deep breath against Baldwin. Rolls behind a screen, into the lane, penetrates, goes to the rack and scores!
Big bucket right there by Johnson. Another job. A good job of just getting in the lane, not settling for a jump shot.
31-27. Under 3 to play in this contest. Here's Sala up high on the right. Check by McCorkle. Looks for a screen. Rolls behind one. Middle of the floor. Cuts to the paint. He draws a double team. He spins around in the paint. High arcing shot. No good. Mangold the rebound for Lakota East.
Yeah, and again, another possession here for the Beavers where the ball doesn't move. As good as Sela is, you've got to try to get Duvall involved.
And you hear the East crowd coming alive. Here's Johnson on the move. Into the lane. He's stuck by Baldwin. Back out for Mangold. Up high on the right. They put Phillips out on the perimeter. Back over for Johnson. To the rack. He missed the shot. No foul called on the rebound to Duvall. Quickly up front. Sela into the lane. He'll kick it back out.
There he is.
Here's a three left of the key. No good from Duvall. One and done on that possession.
Wow. Duvall wide open for a transition three and just wasn't able to convert.
2 to play in a timeout. 1:57 left to play officially here at the Cintas Center. 31-27.
Yeah, I think in this timeout right here, Coach Atkins is going to be talking about just running offense and being strong with the basketball, because at some point they're going to foul. And they're going to go to the line. You're going to get a chance to hit 1-on-1. I just don't know if they're going to be able to run the whole thing off. But as crazy as this sounds, with a buck 57 left, it wouldn't surprise me a bit if East tries to run this basketball down underneath a minute before they even take a shot.
Coming up after this one, the top seed Moeller Crusaders will take on Dayton's 12th seed Springboro in District 4. Our main man Justin Thomas will have that one on the call, along with Sean Van Winkle. Coach has been a pleasant addition to our crew.
Certainly so. He's excited to be here, excited to do things, and as I told him, as well prepared as he is, outside of the logistics and the technical side of getting everything ready, I might be the opposite.
1:57 to play. Here we go with Mangold to throw in the forecourt. Side out of bounds to our right. He plays it in for Jaden Coles. Johnson has the ball, checked by Baldwin. He rolls left, he rolls right, looking for a screen. Now drops it off for Furman.
Double out here on Furman. Nope.
Now Mangold has it up high on the right, looking inside, spun around and plays Johnson side pocket right, returns it up high for McCorkle. Puts it on the deck one time and now goes, reversing it over for Coles and gives it up Mangold. They're playing some great motion with 1:27 to play. Here's Furman with the ball, stuck upright, and he throws it into the paint for McCorkle.
Nah, they're going to get a foul, I would think. Or they're going to call a timeout. Okay.
Wow, so that was a little bit of something there as McCorkle grabbed it in the paint. It looked like he took an extra right step, but a timeout called at the right time with 1:21 to play.
Yeah, you can see Coach Atkins there. He's got plenty of timeouts. He still has 2 remaining, so it's, not like you can't go home with them, as they say. So you might as well use them, and he felt like there was a little bit of uncertainty for his ball club, and he probably took the rightful timeout.
Want to make mention in the evening sessions, all here on Chatterbox Live. District 3, the 14 seed Lakota West out of the GMC will tee it up with the Dayton top seed Centerville for the 6 o'clock tip. And then in District 2 for the nightcap, the 3 seed LaSalle and the 7 seed St. X, both out of the TCL South. That should be a hell of a game tonight, too.
That will be. You want to talk about 2 teams that know each other, 2 teams that are well respected around here, 2 teams that play very hard, and 2 teams that got a lot of good players, right? It'll be a good ball game, but we got a good one here.
Out of the timeout, Coles the trigger from the baseline. He plays to Johnson. He is fouled on the way up by Shalom Baldwin.
Yeah, Baldwin kind of just got beat right off of the whistle, if you will, on the inbound, and he tried to recover, but not in time as he picks up the personal, and Johnson's going to go to the line for 2.
So Nate has had a really wonderful game. 16 points and counting. He lets fly on the first, no good. It skipped off the front end, off the back iron, and back out again. Mangold will come out for Charlie Kenrich for Lakota East. I think they're trying to save Alex for one more possession just in case.
Certainly, they're going to take him out defensive, offensive side.
No good on the back end. Sela the rebound. 1:16 to play. Beavercreek down by 4. He sets the ball screen for Hobart in the lane. Jump pass outside on over for Baldwin. He dribbles back outside the lane. And now back out. Bounce feed outside to Duvall. Duvall stuck in the left pocket. Back out now to Baldwin.
Can't lose the ball.
1 minute to play. Here's Sela. Left in the lane. A jumper from 12. No good. Now put back for Hobart. And a foul, I think, on the back end of that as well.
They're going to get an and 1. They are going to get an and 1 on McCorkle underneath. What a big play by the Beavers here. You almost felt like if East was able to pull down that defensive rebound, that might have been all she wrote. That's all for naught, though, Jeff, because they're going to go to the line and be able to cut it to 1.
Well, these two teams are here for a reason. Beavercreek came into this ball game 16-9, though they've been particularly hot down the stretch. Here's the bonus attempt and good for Herbart.
So 2 missed free throws on this end for East.
And a timeout.
And 1 on the other end. A big 5-point swing.
Huge. 1-point contest here in the closing minute of this one. 31-30 along with Trace Fowler. I'm Geoff Kim. So glad to have you along for the opener of our quadruple header, our first ever here on Chatterbox Live. We've had a whole bunch of firsts this year. This postseason, it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I guess when you start something up and you go through a year, there's a heck of a lot of firsts, aren't there? But ultimately for us, oh, what a pleasure to be here. What an opportunity to watch a good basketball game here. And this final quarter is starting to kind of see a little more fluidity, if you will. Obviously, there's, 30-31. You look at a full game and you say that couldn't have been fun to watch.
Right.
Maybe so, but I'll tell you what, sign me up for the last minute of a fourth quarter basketball game to become a district champion in a one possession basketball game. I'm here for it.
So out of this timeout, if you're Clint Atkins, what do? Do you hold on to the ball, or if you see an opening immediately in the paint, do you go for the bucket?
I think what's happened a few times for East, and you have to be ready for it because you got to be on the same page, but they've had back cuts that are easily available. So what I mean by that is there's over-aggression from Beavercreek, and if you do make a back cut, the passer has to be 100% certain you're going to make it, because otherwise if you don't make that back cut, it's going to be a turnover. It's a lot easier said than done to make that call, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see someone get open on a back cut and try to lay it in. I do not think they'll try to hold this thing to the last shot unless it just gets to the 30-second range, and then they will.
Mangold, the throw in for the baseline. It'll go to Caden Furman, and now down to the corner. It goes to Johnson against full court pressure. Coles has it, plays it back on over for Caden Furman, and we got a timeout. Charge to Lakota East, I believe.
Yeah, Coach Clint Atkins was fired up trying to make sure that they got across the timeline in the 10 seconds that they're allotted. One good thing, though, that that you can see, there's plenty of clocks on the floor here, right? You don't have a situation where it's tough to see how much time's left. You get in the huddle right now and you say, hey, guys, we have until 34 seconds to get this thing across. But you have to know, you got to have that internal clock in your head. And right there, Coach Clint Atkins had the internal clock that said, basically, I need to get these guys off the floor because otherwise it might be a 10-second turnover.
So if you're the staff right now of either Steve Pittman for Beavercreek or Clint Atkins for East, you're investing very heavily in your antacid right now, because right now, everybody's a churning.
That's right. You can see Beavercreek, if they showed one thing out of that timeout, they do not want to allow East to hold on to the ball. They're throwing doubles, they're running guys at multiple guys at on-ball handlers. So I don't know if East is going to be able to run this thing even down into the 20s if I had to guess. At some point, there's either going to be a turnover or a foul within the first 20-25 seconds of this game clock. And again, if you're East, you've been in these moments so many times. It almost seems like they're destined to find a way to win, but at the same time, Beavercreek's a hell of a squad, and they've had a little bit of their own destiny to this tournament. They were down by 9.5 against West Carrollton, if you will, a couple rounds ago. They crawled back to have a 1-point victory there. So, both teams are good. We'll see if Beavercreek keeps the pressure up.
Mangold to throw in from half court. Side out of bounds to our right. Here we go with 42 to play, and a foul coming as Coles was making his move.
It almost seemed like an intentional foul, quite honestly, in the sense that, it wasn't flagrant by any means, but they wanted to send Coles to the line.
And they're going to get the big man Duval on the personal. So Mangold checks out. Charlie Kenrich checks back in for Lakota East, and some big free throws here for Jaden Coles, who's got 7 in the book. Front end of 1 and the bonus. He lets fly. No good! And the rebound down to Duval, and they can play for a final shot.
They can. We'll see if they do that or not.
Here's Herbart driving. He lost the handle, but it's out of bounds.
It's going to stay Beaver ball.
It'll stay up front with 34.5 to play.
And it will. And certainly the Beavers did not look like they were trying to hold to the last second shot there. They were aggressive and tried to push the envelope down the lane.
31 to 30. The high lob, it goes to Sela. Checked by McCorkle. into the lane, spun around left of the lane. Now we'll dribble back on out and toss to Baldwin and turn Herbert. 24 to play. He drives. He pops a fadeaway from 12. No good. And the rebound and a foul. So McCorkle got the rebound, and we've got some contact down on the block as well.
They're going to get McCorkle for a foul down low.
Wow. So McCorkle picks up number 4.
That's going to send the Beavers to the line for 2 shots because they are in the double bonus.
Gabe Phillips with some huge throws coming up with 20.2 left to go. I gotta say, I didn't see the push. I just saw the fact that McCorkle was all by himself in the paint.
That high arcing free throw shot, we're gonna see if it comes in clutch here.
So Trevor Howard will check in for Lakota East, 20.2. We are still in sudden death range. I think that's the best way I think I put this game right now. Here's Phillips. High arcing shot, good.
Beautiful.
We're tied at 31.
Big shot right here. Obviously said, but it's a situation where it will change what you decide to do on the defensive end of your Beavercreek. Either you're going to press and try to force a turnover, or do you fall back into half-court defense?
See the emergence of number 1, Andrew Vest for the Beavers. The second one is up and good as well.
2 big free throws.
32 to 31. We got a timeout.
They're going to get subs coming in and coming off the floor here, so just a small, quick break. But really, the difference down the stretch has been free throws.
They win the close ones. How's your heart doing?
Here we go, baby. So you sign up for sports.
Mangold the throw in. And here we go. Coles has it on his own back line. 17 to play. He reverses it for Johnson, coming up the floor. Into the forecourt. He surveys the offense. 10 to play. Up high on the right. He looks inside. He penetrates in the lane. He kicks it out. Here's Howard for 3. Oh, God. The rebound fouled with 1.6 left to go.
Are you kidding?
Foul going up. Wow. And wow.
They bottled up Johnson on the outside. He kicks it over to Howard for a 3. Howard kind of forces up a 3, thinking the time's going to run out. An air ball goes straight to Mangold. He's going to go to the line for 2 humongous free throws.
1.6 to play.
His first one's so big.
2 shots. Good.
What a big clutch free throw. Now, if you're Beavercreek, do you take your last time out here and try to ice them? I would. I don't know if they are. Looks like they're not. They're going to let them play it out.
Steve Pittman, arms akimbo, folded up. Just waiting to see the result of this one. And good.
It's good.
33 to 32. Timeout to Lakota East with 1.6 left to go. Wow. Our 7th lead changing the ball game, and a beauty here in Cincinnati.
I'll tell you what, I don't know Alex Mangold's career. I don't know how many games he's played in. I don't know when he started playing. But those are the 2 biggest free throws he's ever shot in his entire life. He had the student section behind him. He had everybody in the crowd watching him. 1.6 seconds left on the clock. You make 1, you tie. You make 2, you take the lead. And what you would think would win the game, and he knocked them both down.
Ice water in the veins on that one. 33 to 32 with 1.6 to go. And of course, his family's listening. His dad Scott's in attendance. I believe one of his sisters is in attendance as well. Come home from college, and I gotta tell you, Alex has made his family very proud.
That he has. And this thing is not over yet. I don't know. I've seen plenty of crazy stuff happen. It's almost a situation of your Leitner-esque type of inbound, right? You're going to have to get this ball down the court and either get a clean half-court shot, or the good, fortunate news for the Beavers is you got some tall guys to be able to inbound this thing.
The throw-in will come from Gabe Phillips right in front of us. Baseline out of bounds to our left.
Not guarding the ball, so they're not guarding the ball.
He's looking inside, onto the sideline. Herborn at half court. He throws it up off the rim and out.
Oh my gosh!
Lakota East survives. They have won mercy.
What are you supposed to do in a game like this? You hate to see either one lose. The Beavers did not deserve to lose. East didn't deserve to lose. And that is one hell of a finish.
That might be the best thing we've seen all year long. 33-32. An incredible finish here in the District 1 final. Lakota East moves on. They improved to 24-2. Beavercreek bows out at 16-10. The GWAP represented so very well here in this tournament. They have been awesome. I gotta tell you, if this is an indicator of how things are gonna go for the rest of our district finals, we're gonna need to see a cardiologist tomorrow.
Yeah, sign me up, man. I tell you what, this is too much fun. Too much fun.
We're waiting to get Reid Mouse into the post game, so we'll take a timeout here and call it a day from you and me here from a broadcast standpoint. 2 big free throws from Alex Mangold to win it for Lakota East. They are the Division or District 1 champions this year.
That they are.
Unbelievable. Our march to Columbus continues with Reid Mouse in the post game coming up here on Chatterbox Live.
Welcome back to the Cintas Center. Coaches, I'm Reid Mouse here with Coach Van Winkle and Coach Mike Price. And guys, you couldn't have asked for a much better game to start off this quadruple header tonight.
That's unbelievable. It's a great game.
It was awesome.
Unreal. And, Coach and I are up there watching the game, and just so many different things happens. And, you got Nate Johnson at the foul line and maybe to secure the win, and he misses both of them. Then they have a foul down there, and then he shoots an air ball, and it favors them.
Yeah.
Because if it hits any part of the rim, Coach said, Beavercreek's probably rebounding it going. It's an air ball. Mangold grabs it, puts it up. Wow. I'm sure Coach Atkins called for that air ball, but hey, and just before we get too deep into this game, January 7th is the last time Lakota East has lost to anyone in the state of Ohio. That guy to your left is the guy who got him.
Coach Price, he just told us that not too long ago.
That's amazing.
But, the game itself, Alex Mangold, let's talk about that. Final play. The entire game doesn't score a single point, doing what he's doing, just getting his rebounds, and then coming down with the final shot and securing the game. That's something special, and that just shows what kind of player he has been all year.
It is, because you don't have to score points to affect the game, and not many kids know that. They get sometimes their mindset or their attitude changes when they aren't scoring. But he did a great job defensively. Got a little bit of foul trouble, but he came back in, and came back in about the 3.5-minute mark of the fourth quarter and didn't foul again. And that was crucial to him being in the game, obviously, at the end, to be a rebounder, whether he gets it or not, just to have him in the game at that point. But so many kids get caught up into my scoring points. What else can I do to win a game? And he did it.
The coach, he had 9 rebounds, 0 points until those last 2 free throws. 0 points, 9 rebounds. Interior defense was amazing, and those 9 rebounds are amazing. But he sets those screens and offense to keep that offense moving around a little bit. And Mangold only hit 2 free throws, but he might have been the MVP today. He had a heck of a game.
Yeah, and Coach had to keep subbing him in and out there in the final few minutes because, fouling and just certain things. For him to come down and come with it. Coaches, what do you think the difference was? I know in a 1-point ball game, like in especially a low-scoring game, it could be a multitude of things. But what do you think the biggest difference was down in crunch time between these two teams?
Go ahead, Coach.
I think a lot of it was Beavercreek's inability to score with in their half-court offense, and they did a lot of standing. I haven't seen them play this year other than tape, but I think they didn't move very well, and they really had a hard time scoring. I think that allowed East to play the kind of game that they're used to. We talked about experience before, but I think East's ability to defend them and stay in front of the ball was really big, because the point guard number 3 could not penetrate on McCorkle, and he just kept him in front. And it was really, really hard for Beavercreek to score, get in any kind of rhythm, and allowed East just to hang around and stay there.
Yeah, Coach was saying McCorkle guarding 3. He just couldn't get by him. He stayed in front of him. He couldn't get by him. The rest of Beavercreek guys were kind of standing around. They weren't setting any off-the-ball screens. They come up and did a little bit of a ball screen action once, but really didn't do much of that. So they kind of played in the favor of East. I mean, if you're not going to move a whole lot on offense, East is going to be really, really good on D. And they did. Their defense won this game. And Jaden Cole stepped up. He had 7 points for them. The points came at a very minimum today, premium. Yeah. But, he stepped up and had a big game. And I felt like it was going to be one of these games. I felt like it was going to be low possession, low scoring, and I felt like it would favor East. And it sure did. District champs.
District champs.
Back to back.
Beavercreek had a lot of talk coming into this game. Adam Duvall was 70% from the perimeter coming into this game during the postseason. A lot of talk about their shooting. They went 0 from the perimeter. 0 for 6
from 3.
Didn't make a single three-pointer. I think Duvall was held to 2 points. Yeah. Is that a bigger? Who does that speak more on? Is that more on Lakota East's ability as a defensive team, or is that more, Beavercreek just couldn't hit tonight?
I think it's a little bit of both. Coming into a venue like this in this big environment without the experience. As you watch the beginning of the game, for example, both teams were tight. Yeah. There weren't a whole lot of outside shot hits on either side.
East was 1 for 8.
Yeah, it wasn't like everybody was making threes or anybody was making threes, but it's difficult to play in this environment. And number one, from a shooter standpoint. Number two, when you play a team that's good defensively and prepared, there weren't a whole lot of open looks on either side tonight. And I think it speaks a little bit to both, just the nervousness, the environment, the venue, the type of game, and then the good defense. I think a little bit of both.
Yeah, and preparation is key. Coach has an unbelievable staff, and when you get ready for a district game, and Coach East the same way, you can go right down the bench who they have on their staff, and they are so prepared. And you could just tell nobody got easy direct baskets underneath on out-of-bounds play, except for the one time they lobbed it to Mangold, but he missed a shot. And so everybody's so prepared in games like this. It comes down to unsung heroes. Number 5 for East comes in and just has a great game. Especially he played well defensively, which was, I didn't know he could play defense like that. So it was a tell of two different styles, but they end up playing right into East style. And coach is looking up at the score like, okay, am I out there? Flashbacks, Oak Hills, LaSalle. I mean, these are the games they're used to, and it paid off. And the venue is odd. I mean, you can come in and practice here, Coach, on Wednesday morning or whatever time they let you. But until you get in here with butts in the seats and people yelling, it's different. It just really is, and that's why a lot of teams are trying to play in these showcases or somehow get in front of these and play in these college arenas. Coach, you do a lot in the summer, and just getting in here, getting the kids used to this kind of place because it's different. Everything's different about it. So hats off to Coach Atkins, though, man. 2-time district champs for Lakota East, and he's got the program going in an unbelievable situation. Telling Coach, he not only has he had good players, that's obvious. He's had some. I mean, he's got guys in college. You can start naming them. Coach has a bunch too, but they have got a culture right now that's amazing, and they're all bought in. The people up there are bought in. The parents are bought in. The players are bought in. Their athletic administration, I think their AD is the best in Southwest Ohio, second to none in Rich Bryant, and he is creating that with every sport. When he goes to try to hire, and I'm not discarding soccer because my wife played D1 soccer, but if he's hiring a girls soccer coach, Rich Bryant will go get the best girls soccer coach and make them tell him no 3 times. So they got it going on at East right now. I mean, it's amazing. I'm happy for the GMC, a little bit biased for it, but I'm really happy for the GMC.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Atkins and the job he's doing here. I talked to him earlier this week, and he said this is kind of a new standard for Lakota East basketball, getting to this game, playing in the district game. They want to do this every single year. Last year, they actually ended their season at the Centos Arena. Yep. They played Moeller in the regional semis. They come back for a guy who was sitting on the bench in that game, Alex Mangold. He didn't get to play in the district championship, didn't get to play here at the Centos Center, and he comes up with the 2 biggest free throws of the season. And we talked about it a little bit, and I think you guys actually went to a good length, but dive in just a little deeper. How important is the experience of playing in these venues, playing in these games, especially in these close ball games?
Well, Coach, I want you to take this on because not only has East done this, Oak Hills it ain't league titles anymore for Coach Price. They're talking about districts. It's always that district Saturday up in Dayton, and everybody's excited. And then you got Coach's Corner up there where we're all acting like we're coaches. Now it moves to Sunday, and it's at Xavier. But this is a staple for what Oak Hill's in, and you've elevated your program to that, coach. And talk about how East has done that and playing in these games. I mean, this venue's big, but elevating to where it's not just the GMC titles anymore. It's almost like if you win the GMC title, then you got a chance to go somewhere, and that's exactly where you guys are with Oak Hill.
Well, I think it's a lot about preparation. It starts in the off season with the lifting, with the skill work, with what you do in the summer. With just having the young men compete and teaching that culture and the mindset in the summer. It's so important because as you watch this game, I don't think anybody on the East bench really, I'm sure they were nervous. I know what it's like on the inside, but nobody panicked. You didn't see Clint panicking. He stayed calm. Even when the young man from Beavercreek was going to the free throw line to take a 1-point lead, Clint was still coaching. He was calling guys over. He was talking to his players. He wanted to make sure they knew what was coming up next, make or miss. I'm sure he was telling them that. And you have to stay calm. And it's just a belief and a trust in your system, your culture, your mindset. So it starts really in the off season, and then that calmness and that experience and that belief and trust in who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, your goals, all those things come into play. But it really starts in the offseason.
It does. And it reminds me, Coach, a lot of stuff I see on Twitter with Oak Hill's program, Lakota East program. How many free throws you think Mangold shot this offseason? That sucker's probably been to the line thousands and thousands of times. And just as much as that belief that Clint had, being calm, we're here, we're there, Mangold, he was making those free throws. He stepped up there. He's a senior. He's put in more time than most. And he said, you know what? I'm the guy. I haven't scored a bucket all game, but I'm going to drill these two. And it looked beautiful. Bam, bam on both of them. And he's got his team in the regionals. Yep. And the off-season's unreal. We talk about it. It's not for everybody. No. I'm not using the John Calipari thing, but he says that a lot. It's not for everybody. If you want to be good, it takes so much effort and weight room, preseason, in the mornings. Heck, coaching them shoot during the season in the mornings. And then he wears them out if they don't come in because it's optional shooting. It's optional to some.
It's not mandatory. We have kids who have bought into that.
It ain't optional to good players. No. It ain't optional to them.
No, and then other people follow.
Yeah, they're showing up.
And it's nice to have a senior on the line in that situation because the seniors are the ones who've invested the most, and they're the ones who care the most. Not that everybody, all the juniors, obviously Nate Johnson and all the other underclassmen care, but the senior is really the one who's invested and wants to continue to play, wants to make that senior year special.
Yep. The turnovers was a little higher than I thought, Coach. Beavercreek had 17 turnovers, and East had 14. In a possession game like this, I think that's a little high for both. So a little careless with the ball with some of them. I mean, 14 in a game is not bad if you're going up and down, but it was slow like that. Both those numbers are a little high to me.
It was, I think, when you look at, for example, Beavercreek's, when they're trying to penetrate and they're not moving very much on offense to move the defense, and then they penetrate, and you get in there, and there aren't a lot of places to go once you get into the lane and you pick the ball up, and it's hard to make those passes. And again, the nervousness, the nerves, and the closeness of the game sometimes lends itself to that too.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned about how East could play in almost any tempo of the game. They could play them fast, and that's what you've seen in the GMC. They had a 34-32 win against Hamilton earlier this year. They had some low-scoring games, and then they also got to run up and down the floor when you got Lakota West, who we're going to see later tonight. How much does that prepare you for really anything that they're going to throw at you in this postseason run?
Well, I think it's why I know we do, and I know Clint does too. You try to play a variety of styles during the season. You try to play tough non-league games, and so you try to play a team that's going to play fast, team that will pressure. You try to play a team that's very, very much prepared when you get to that game. You try to get your team out of town a little bit, and that helps too. That team bonding and so forth. But you try to give them different experiences during the year because to be successful, you can't just play one way.
No.
And if you just play one way, eventually somebody will take that away from you. And whether it's playing fast all the time, somebody will take that away, whether it's slow. But I think still the defensive mindset is what wins it because everybody wants to play fast on offense. But typically when you get into the state tournament, you get deeper and deeper and deeper. The defense really is what the difference is between the best teams and the teams that maybe get to a district or or a regional semi, but they can't go beyond that.
And it's instincts. And Coach talked about this before. It's all about instincts. You work and practice every single day. Coach has, I used to call it the daily dozen of defense, and Coach calls it something else, but it's your instinctive things. Every time they set a flare, this is what we do. Every time they set a pin down screen, this is what we do. Doubles, this is what we do. Ball screens, this is what we do. It all becomes instinctive because Coach probably had how many practices this year?
We had 60.
See, he can tell you to the second, to the number how many practices. And every single day you worked on what?
Defensive habits.
Defensive habits. And that's what happens out here. It's big. I mean, East were just in their habits. They were in their habits. I mean, they didn't put a lot of pressure off the ball on defense, on East's defense, but they were in their habits. He kept people in front, a lot of good help, and it does win games. I mean, people say that, but defense does win games, and it won this game today.
I saw something this week, Shauna. It was to be good, you have to be boring.
Yeah.
And boring is doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yep.
Repetition, making sure you have good habits. And there's people, I always talk about being inconsistent is a habit too.
Yeah.
You're inconsistent all the time. And you have to be consistent. And like you said, there aren't many people, everybody says they want to be good. Not many people want to put in that work and be bored sometimes to be good, because it is skill work. It is defensive repetition. It is the mindset stuff that you just have to do over and over again.
Yeah, and when I talked to Coach Noska preparing for the Hamilton and St. Next game, I asked Coach, how's things going? He said, it's real easy. We just simplified it all the way down to our motion offense and our man defense, and that is all we are worried about right now. And when you watched St. Next play against Hamilton, they didn't do a lot of fancy stuff, but they were really good on their offense, and it was really, like Coach said, it's almost boring in some ways, but it's not. I mean, it's what you're really good at. And East is really good on defense, and now they get an opportunity to play, in the regional semifinals again for a second year in a row.
Yeah, Lakota East winning their second straight district title. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have Coach Atkins and Alex Mangold on to talk with us, ask them a few questions. Stay tuned. You're watching Chatterbox Live. Welcome back to the Cintas Center, where we just saw the Thunderhawks win their second straight district title. I'm here with Coach Atkins, Alex Mangold. We got Coach Van Winkle and Coach Price. Coach, overall, how's it feel to get another district title?
It's unbelievable, and obviously not the way we planned it. The game was very ugly. We weren't great in our motion offense today, turned the ball over a little bit too much, but at the end of the day, it's about survive and advance, and I know that's a cliche thing, but it's so true, and our guys were gritty defensively, made enough plays in order to get it done, and to their credit, I mean, they're a talented offensive group. The Soleil kid, he's a monster. He is so good at getting to the paint and creating for himself and his teammates. And at the end of the day, we did a good job on Duval and Herbert, and it was a great team win, great team defensive effort.
Alex, last season you were here and you saw the district championship and then the regional semifinals here, but you were sitting on the bench. Yep. Today, no points for the first 31 and a half minutes, and then you knocked 2. How special is this for you?
I mean, it's great to get back here after not playing last year. It's something special. It's something I can give to. So instead of last year, I couldn't really play. So it's just very special to have this moment. I just got to thank my teammates and my coaches for getting me here. Obviously not producing well in the offensive part of the court, but just my defense, rebounding, anything I can do to win. So
be honest with me. Were you a little nervous at the line up there?
Yes, very.
But you knocked them down nonetheless. That's got to be preparation, right?
Yeah, after that first one, a lot of weight was lifted off my shoulders. Just hit the second one, and I did, thankfully. But just finishing that game was very important. So it's very special.
Coach Atkins, Coach Price and I were talking. This is a culture win. Yep. I mean, your culture now is not to win GMC titles. It's to go to districts, to regionals, and to the state. It's a culture win. And I always see you guys tweeting stuff out, Oak Hill shooting in the morning before school and this and that. Did you have any fear at all with him missing in free throws?
No, we were due. We missed the front end of a one-on-one. Nate Johnson, who's our best free throw shooter, he missed 2.
Yep.
I said we're due. Big Al, he's been getting
in the gym.
He's been in the gym after practice in the mornings, getting up extra free throws, and that's something that he psychologically he'd been kind of psyching himself out. He's such a good shooter, and said, Coach, I make him in practice, but for some reason I'm not doing a great job in games. And I said, just take care of you. You're such a good shooter. You got a great release, great follow through, and you're going to be fine. And when he got fouled there, I'm going, dude, these are good.
Coach Price,
these are
talk
good.
about that play that Coach Atkins drew up there at the end.
That was a great play. Shoot an air ball. We have Alex on the backside ready for it.
We
call like the quarterback that throws that ball short, right? On the deep route.
We call that a shot lob. Trevor Howard's been working on a shot lob lately. Fake the 3, shoot it long, and
let Alex grab it.
Yeah, let him grab it. And as you guys know, sometimes when you airball shots, those are the toughest shots to rebound because of your blockout situation. And Al did a great job of not watching, going to get it, and got hammered there at the end.
Clint, what did you talk about before that when McCorkle got his foul and you called everybody over? What did you talk about in terms of how you're going to get it up? Because you had to know they were probably going to try to take Nate away.
Yeah, and obviously it was a situation we said, we thought they were going to double him like they did at the end of the quarter. We said if they double you, we got to get a guy to the middle of the floor, up the floor, and Nate. And the thing about Nate is he's so unselfish. He's going to make the right. He's a willing passer. And I said, whoever gets to the ball, guys, you're going to have to be in attack mode. And they didn't bring the double until the paint, which kind of shocked me. And I told Nate, I said, in the future, Nate, you get the ball that deep in the floor, you got to shoot the basketball. But like I said, he's a very unselfish guy, and we wanted to be in attack mode. And a lot of times people settle for jump shots in those situations, and we settled for a contested one. But luckily, Al got there and got the rebound.
Well, the thing, too, is with Alex, his defense, interior defense, is such a huge difference in games like this.
It is.
Duval and those guys couldn't hardly get going when you got a guy like him in there. And I loved your team last year. I like this team even better. But this guy's the difference.
He is.
He is the difference. When you got a guy that's in there with this kind of body and doesn't care about anything other than winning basketball games. He don't care about his points. They'll come. He cares about screening, rebounding, and more importantly, winning the game. And that's a huge, huge thing. Great. I'm glad to see. You hate seeing kids get hurt. You definitely don't want to lose him on his senior year. So it's really awesome seeing him.
Yeah, and he's such an unselfish guy. He always does. He's such a big team guy, and he'll always do whatever it takes in order to win. And some nights that may mean getting 17 or 18. Some nights that may mean hitting 2 free throws to win a district title game and defend and rebound your butt off. But at the end of the day, so proud of him, and everything he went through from last year at against Coach Price and Oak Hills to now. It's unbelievable. Really proud of him.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. Alex, congratulations on the win. Going to regionals next week. That'll do it for us here on our coverage of the first game. We'll have the second game coming up soon. Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Good luck next week.
Thank
you for watching Chatterbox Live. We will have the next game coming on soon. Thank you.